Yeah, Ahoy world. Well, particularly folks of LinkedIn. We got another one. It's Beers with Max. It's I don't know what day it is, but it's Q4. Still Q4. Still December.
Mhm.
I got a guest here today. No stranger to agency life. No stranger to successful exits. And you're back for more. You're back for more punishment. Galen Dow, everybody. Uh,
Yeah,
you're
you get
you're
used to
out,
it.
but you're never. You can't take the marketer. You can take the agency out of the marketer. Whatever. There's a way to finish that. I'm not sure how.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just so much fun. Why would you stop, right? And
I could think
particularly
of a
with
lot
the,
of reasons. Let's be honest. If money
yeah,
wasn't an issue, I
hmm
would not be. I would not be doing this right now.
yeah,
I would be
yeah,
golfing. I would. That's the
yeah,
truth.
that's fair. There's an element, as you noted, built an agency, right? Through some ups and downs. Dot-com bust came out of that, founded, and then sort of, the bank crisis. So each of those is difficult because there's right sizings and repositionings and all these difficult things. And part of this is give back, find solutions for my agency brethren that they can package, monetize, and scale. Maybe and take some of the pain away of growing a service business. So there is an
Well, you're
element of that.
using some of my trigger words, and a trained professional. Everybody, a trained professional. I can't bait them into saying something offensive. This is going to go well. Okay, so give us like the 3 minute history lesson. Where'd you come from? People are gonna
Sure.
might recognize you, in the HubSpot space.
Yeah, maybe. If you've been around for quite a while, right? It's been a while, but let's see. Engineer MBA, started at an engineer products company, if we go way back. So I think like an engineer, systematically, diagrams, right? And landed at an e-learning solutions company that got crushed in the dot-com bust, spun me out, and I became a consultant because I didn't want to tell mom I was unemployed, right? Probably a few of those have washed up on your shores. I can
Well, that was
imagine.
me. I said, Dad, no one wants to hire me. And he says, Congratulations, you're a consultant.
Exactly, right.
You just make up the
Uh,
price. That's how you
yeah,
define it.
yeah, exactly. Founded and scaled an agency that became New Breed Marketing, that became New Breed Revenue, a leading HubSpot partner. Had a new opportunity to exit. People ask why, and to your point, because I could, and just sort of happened. But what leads me to where I am today, one of my last acts there, I was onboarding a medical image software company in Chicago. And hey, what are y'all doing for marketing today? And it was 30,000 a month in AdWords. Okay, we can help you with that. 100,000 a month in trade publication display ads, which was an outlier. Yeah, that was record scratch. Wait a minute,
You
tell me
got me
about
there. Yeah.
that. Yeah, right. And the gist of it was they had this thing called a viewer, machine learning back in the day. So, hey, radiologist, this bone looks a little funny, or this vein looks a little diagnostic efficiency and efficacy. And they were bolting this thing in to replace said viewer in a GE or a Siemens gazillion dollar radiology MRI machine. And without brand recognition, couldn't get in the door. It was all about brand for him. I need brand. And he said, I wish that talked to this HubSpot inbound marketing thing. Exit, take a year, refinish the basement, dive into ad tech, dive into account based marketing platforms, because there's an element of those here, right? And come out with what I thought was an opportunity to make account based motions easier, friendlier, and HubSpot centric. So house most of it in the CRM, append the account-based advertising component on, largely controlled by what's happening in your CRM. And some really magical things happen, one of which is sales and marketing alignment, right? So you get to these use cases of account-based, land and expand, tiered industry, geographic, whatever those are. And you can do a lot in HubSpot by bolting on the right pieces parts at a lot less money and a lot less work, and align things in a way with HubSpot data and automations that are otherwise difficult to do.
So you like me have been around Camp HubSpot since
Hmm.
before it was a lot of things. It was a marketing platform, good old
Yeah.
days. Um, so we've been talking about marketing and sales alignment for well over a decade and a half, maybe pushing
Right.
two. What do you think, what do you think is the current state of sales and marketing alignment? Are we ever going to get there? Was it a false promise?
It reminds me a bit of nuclear fusion. It's always a decade away. You know what I mean? No matter when you
It's
talk about
happening right there in the sky, and we will bring it to life.
it. Right? Yeah. But I think we're on the verge. There's a really interesting take by Forrester, and happy to share the article to anyone that's interested. When you post this, I'll put some links. And they talk about the future is an RMP, a revenue marketing program, and they discuss the coming collision between CRMs, marketing automation platforms, and ABM. And they're adding features and functionality and encroaching. So you look at where Zoom Info came from and where they're coming, where HubSpot came from, where they're coming. You know,
Yeah.
Salesforce has been bolting things on forever, right? And interestingly to me, in their the quadrant, HubSpot's already right at the top right. And there's a couple of shortcomings, where HubSpot's great, ease of use, integrated, deep integration with apps, all the things we know. And then the challenges are no native programmatic advertising, which is the thing that we believe that we solve, is make it as native as possible. And then some of the insights and analytics and things that come with a full-on $10,000 a month account-based marketing platform. So if revenue marketing platform, and you get it all in one house, executed by bright folks like HubSpot partners to tie it all together with their own sort of models. And I think that you can get to something that's really, it takes advantage of what we're calling automated agility. So a sales rep could control up to some number of accounts that they can call in air cover. Here called air cover, right? With a click, I can call in my multi-channel advertising, and maybe I get some number of $100 a month, right, for my pool of companies that I'm prospecting, and I can manage that pool, right, real
If I
time.
got a call coming up, if I'm doing some things on social, like
I
an
had
account
a
rep
great
would,
call. I had a great call. Their product interest was X. Down in the company card, I can find Brand Gen's campaign for X and turn it on. And however that is set up against that company, buyer group, contextual, whatever the case may be, up to some number. I can't run amok with this thing, right? But
yeah.
so real time control. Or with Brand Gen, you can create campaigns against certain audiences. And then when a company reaches a certain state on a list, target account, certain tier, whatever the case may be, use Breeze and turn it from inbound to outbound. So hybrid. Take my inbound, look at them. Ooh, I like that one. Turn it on. And not only with that workflow can you start a campaign, but then you can say, okay, run it for 60 days, take it out of that one, run it the next one. So taking a buying group at a targeted company through a series of advertising messages that you've defined as a journey at the account buyer level. But then if you think of HubSpot, the native advertising takes me over to Facebook and LinkedIn. So if I manage my lists against that, the same workflow construct can activate individuals based on their title or buying role or whatever the case may be out in those audiences. And then you take things like Sendozo and send them a gift, or right, and all of that can be now automated within HubSpot. So with clever architecture, you get to what I think of as account-based RevOps, which is sales and it's no longer marketing, because it's not just marketing. It could be land and expand, right? Or hey, get me 10 more companies that are like this logo that we won that we're good at. So there's different sort of models. Yeah.
It might be the best answer I've heard. Okay, how do we know sales and marketing are aligned? Well, it's the salespeople that are triggering the marketing campaigns.
Exactly.
When was the last time you heard that? Right. This is brilliant, because as somebody that does the selling and the marketing at the same time, I know what you're talking about. If I interview a CEO and they say a trigger word, and now I know I'm going to go through a 2-month process where I've got to get the head of sales, I got to get someone in, I got to get the finance, I got to get operations all on board with making changes to strategy or to service design. If during that time a little bit more of my content can show up for them, have them, looking at my profile so I can reach out and say, hey, I just saw you looking at my profile.
Hmm.
I just had a great call with such and such the other day. I mean, that is exactly what I would want to do. That is something that I think would resonate with sales because I have the thing that people have been beating up, and I can't say I'll disagree or disagree. No, I'll agree that the whole demand gen thing, we've over indexed on let's get people through the funnel as fast as possible.
Absolutely.
I will agree with that. And so you got
Hmm.
a lot of people talking about, well, hey, we've been ignoring brand for 10 years. And
Hmm.
so I get a call with the CEO. They don't know who I am. They don't
Right.
know I'm not on the day one short list. Who am I? So you're not going to win these deals unless you can intentionally create some know like trust. And this would be an extreme situation, right? If they
Hmm.
literally never heard of you before, or maybe they have,
Right.
but they haven't seen your stuff in a while, and all of a
Hmm.
sudden in the 2 months leading up to, as you're gathering buy-in and favor,
Hmm.
all of a sudden your stuff's all over the place. That is brilliant. I love that.
Yeah, and it's so interesting because we all know that accounts buy, and it's the number of influencers goes up every year, right? It's 13, or the average deal. But
Yeah,
we
I got
score
a
on
I got a
leads.
I got a car mechanic I need to call before this goes through. It's like, what?
Yeah, yeah, right. So we score leads, really, not accounts, right? And we market to leads, not accounts, right? And
People.
when the buying group is distilling it, they're boiling it down. Do you want your brand known in that room? Oh, yeah, I know those guys. Does that sway it? Oh, I was on their website the other day, right? And
Yeah, and
with
does
the
Max know
right,
what he's talking about?
yeah, and with the right approach, the way that we have architected our tool, when you remove a lot of functionality from the account-based marketing, uh, I've got my capo in my hand. Sorry, I was fooling around my yeah. But so when you architect the tool correctly, you get very, very low cost per click, right? And so we can bring traffic of the right type to your website multiple times at very low cost. And when I was selling way back in the day, it was a push button phone and letters, faxes, right? And there was nothing at all close to this. And I used to think to myself, if I got 6, 7 sales engagements, I could probably close this big deal. And we are all so awash. I'm on with people every day who are AI content, bundles of AI content, emails, phone calls, AI content for search bubbling over, more people doing more motions, crowding these traditional channels: phone, email, content search, maybe AdWords, right? There are channels outside of that. I love content syndication. We have a really cool webinar coming up with a content syndication company that has an amazing intent signal, which you can bolt to HubSpot. You can take brand gen, bolt it to HubSpot. No fee for the software. You can run ads that are super micro targeted, so they're very affordable. And the thing that I was after with it was coming out of the HubSpot universe, these aren't big logos, these are small companies. Could you build something that could be sustainable over very long, affordably, over very long sales cycles for companies of much more modest means? Because, as you say, I hear from everyone, the buying cycles have extended, right? Can I get more brand touches during that buying cycle? Big ticket stuff are they're long sales cycle anyways, right? So can you orchestrate and activate these channels that are sort of outside of what's how the fire hose of AI stuff, right?
Yeah.
Can you get at these other channels, but do it in a way that's really friendly to sales? That sales turns to marketing. Your leads suck. Marketing turns to sales. You can't sell. You know, Sales turns back
Yeah,
to marketing.
we're only marketing to the people that you're already selling to. Your leads suck.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah. So,
Like that.
to your point earlier, sales, what have you done for me lately? I gave you multi-channel campaign activation against your target companies. That's what I did for you. Go at it. Pick your
I
company.
could see myself like run. So I met a CEO, happened to be in the agency space at a,
Mhm.
I'll call it a restaurant. I was at the bar, but it's a nice restaurant.
Yeah.
I go there now because I keep meeting CEOs. Turns out we're the only, you know, we're the only people that left our wife and kid behind to get a moment's break. But I can see myself leaving the bar, opening my phone, clicking a button, and just go gadget, market to that
Here you go. This is the
agency,
company.
and now all
Yeah.
they're watching my stuff. That is,
Yeah.
I hadn't
Exactly.
had that in my mind until today.
Very cool. Yeah. Yeah. So
So
we're excited about it. Yeah.
what so what's your plan? Because you've been in the agency space. What do you
Hmm.
think? Is there a gap? Is there an education gap? Is there a all the agencies are still stuck in la la land and we need to get over this hump for them to see the light?
Yeah. I think all due credit to the market leaders in ABM. They saw early what was possible technologically. They built platforms that they're fantastic platforms. If you go take it, the first thing I recommend is like go take a demo from the market leaders. If you need to do it at scale, like go, because they
Yeah.
are remarkable programs. I think. I'm sorry. What was the question? I was headed off.
Will the agencies pick up what you're putting down?
Yeah. Okay. So all due credit to the companies that led the charge on this thing called account-based marketing. I think they've also done an amazing job at branding it as a software you need, as opposed to a function that you do. Oh, ABM, I can't afford that. Oh, I have a client that wants ABM. Let me go find one of these tools. I'll make an intro. Some of them have partner programs, you know. But I think what's maybe less understood is the tech stacks are relatively simple to understand, and the functionalities. You can go to Google Patents and you can see how their intent signals work and compare. I think intent is something that's been marketed really, really well. If you look under the hood, how does this intent thing really work?
Oh yeah,
I
well
think it has some value, but I think
the raging argument of what does intent actually mean and is it
what
worth
does it actually
damn?
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So before you go and get sold on intent, the Google Patents will
Yeah,
show you, or I'm
they
happy
looked
to
at
take.
they happened to see my post because LinkedIn shoved it down their throat. That's an intent signal. No,
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah.
that's
So
an impression.
it's a lot softer than you think. So back to your point. While the ABM tools look like software, and they are, there's a lot of managed services happening behind the scenes, and those are managed services that agencies can do. So my first protege, we have a number of agencies now coming along, but the one who sort of embraced it first is closing $10,000 to $30,000 a month retainers. And these are retainers. That's a nice retainer for a HubSpot partner, right? And so you can do it. You have to. It's like anything else in the agency world. I need to architect my own so that it's unique, and I need to build it in a way that I can train people and scale, and sell and do it in a replicable fashion in order to create value for both my customers and myself.
That is the duality of
Right.
agency world. It needs to sound unique. Also needs
Right.
to be something that makes sense and that I can teach
Yeah.
everybody,
Yeah. So
and that is
right
built
now,
off of things that actually
right
work.
now, account-based RevOps is unique, and we have talking points to how you would sell it, the value of it, and people are embracing it. Like, wow, that's a really interesting take. Maybe I can extract those things. To my perspective, you can only do this with HubSpot because all of your hubs, sales, marketing, ops, workflows, automations, data, they're all there. Deep API integrations with apps like ours. So HubSpot is it right now, and it's a little frustrating because HubSpot's an amazing company. It's done well by me. I have a nice place by the lake, right here, some boats, and but their game I feel like is slipping a bit. I watch their content, and when I look at Zoom Info, they have playbooks, right? And I think what HubSpot misses is inbound was a playbook, and I'm betting maybe they regret having named their annual event that, right? Inbound is a playbook. There's other playbooks, right? There's
Mhm.
local service company. There's account-based RevOps, which has 6 different playbooks
Well,
within it.
inbound is the build it and they will come.
Yeah.
And
Right.
agencies figured out pretty quick it's tough to sell that idea 6 months into
It
a,
is
a
a
twelve
lot of
thousand dollar
time and
marketing team. They're
money.
going, oh, just wait. We told you it would take time. It's like, well, we're out of time.
We're out of
It
time.
sounded good then,
Exactly. Yeah.
but
It's
now,
it's a it's 100%. It's 100% expectation setting and really getting buy-in for the time and effort. But also, Brian Halligan was on the stage of Inbound a year or two ago, and he said, "Well, the window for Inbound's closed a bit." And I think if you're a SaaS business, if you're an IT business, like it's flooded. You've missed it.
yeah, it
If
was.
you're a HubSpot
Yeah.
partner, you've missed it. I think it's
Well,
time
as
to
an individual, it was closed. It was closed almost 10 years ago. When it
right.
comes to
You know,
the
if
SEO
I'm a
development.
manufacturing company and my digital transition is just happening away from print publications, which they're out
Yeah,
there, there's still some road to run. But
yeah,
yeah, yeah, HubSpot
for sure.
partners have a different value prop and story.
Okay, let's spot define ABM because I'm sort of on a buzzword diet.
Okay.
I think they're helpful to get us into the right conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I would consider account-based marketing anything that happens after you have a named list of accounts.
Fair.
If you
Yeah.
know who you're going
Yeah.
after, everything after that,
You know,
everything after that's
yeah.
account-based marketing to some degree.
Yeah, I was a product manager for this company way back when, and we were selling into the chemical process industry, and there was like 12 logos. There you go. We were doing account. We used data from the
Yeah.
EPA on leaks because we plugged leaks of noxious stuff. And it was account-based marketing. It was a letter. It was a letter with a form and a self-addressed stamped envelope to an engineer that had reported a leak to get our VCR video.
Yeah.
Legit, right? For real. It was account-based marketing, right?
Well,
So,
and now I go to my best client on LinkedIn. I look to the right. It says people also viewed. I go,
right?
oh my God, thanks LinkedIn.
Right. Yeah.
You just gave me a complete lookalike of my best
Right.
client, and I
Yep.
send him a message and I say, hey, LinkedIn said you're suggested you because you're a lot like the client that I'm working with. Thought you'd
Nice.
like my content. Forwarding you a post I did today, a great interview I did with Galen Dow. And how is
Yeah.
that not? That's account
Kidding.
based. That's my thing right
Yeah.
there. My named
Yeah.
account.
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly right. And there's a number of channels, and HubSpot and their apps like us make it easy to discover the right contacts. Use LinkedIn Sales Navigator, or like you're doing, and identify. And then, to me, account-based marketing happens over here. Like every Thursday, we have account-based marketing meeting, right? And the sales rep gets a list of 50 accounts and in 2 weeks can tell you these 7 are dead, forget it. Like they're laying off or they're never going to move or whatever it is, right? So the translation back and forth lags. And marketing, by definition, I think people sort of view it as new logo acquisition, right? As
Well, I
opposed to
think that
maybe
would be a
land and
big. I
expand.
think that would be a big mistake.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, RevOps is all the way around the flywheel in HubSpot speak, and it's aligning marketing sales under one umbrella because we're all in the same platform, connected to the same tools with APIs, and we have automation to make things happen in the orchestrated. I like the word orchestrated in the way that is by design that someone can manage. I think that's interesting and useful.
Well, I could see how that definition of account based marketing being well is the sales guy's got 50 named accounts. 2 weeks later, 9 of them are gone. It's like, okay, well, you're evaluating. Uh, are they a part of the 5% that is in market to buy? You
Yes.
pick 50 random
In market.
companies that you want to sell to. You're going to get what is it, two and a half? You're going to get two and a half
Yeah. Right. Yeah. A
that are
couple
even
percent.
in market to buy, that are even
Right.
thinking about this. There's an initiative. There's budget. Let alone like now you still gotta sell to them. So the problem is everyone's been so short sighted. I think this is what demand gen. The answer to everything is demand gen. This is what's happened. But account based marketing is saying,
Hmm.
look, let's figure out how to develop a no like relationship with all 50 of these accounts over the next 2 years,
Thank you.
so that when it does come time to buy, we're on the day one short list. They've been looking at our stuff. They know that if they want to talk to Galen or Max, like they know
Mhm.
us.
That's exactly right. And if you articulate well the target accounts, they ought to be interested in your value. And while I understand the sentiment of intent, they may not be in market to buy because they don't know yet that they should be in market to buy.
Yeah.
And part of this process is educating decision makers on what is possible. And as you say, being there when the decision is starting to be made. And that is where affordable, long time outreach engagement
Yeah.
to get at those highly valuable target accounts starts to look very different from I'm waiting for the right person to fill out a form to take the ebook away, and I'm going to try and leverage that into a relationship regardless of the fit or the value.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
I'm having two types of conversations when people reach out and say our number one initiative is to reduce churn.
Right.
And I go, great. I'm the churn physician or whatever I put on LinkedIn. And then I got other conversations where it's like, this is going to take a while. How
Right.
about in your next quarterly meeting, you raise your hand and you say, how much of revenue growth should we expect from our existing clients?
Right.
So you got to educate them, and you're not going to insert a conversation into leadership planning or quarterly initiative planning until that planning cadence comes around.
Right.
And so it's a period of education. Your number one thing is like, can I even get this person to bring it up or pitch the concept? Because something's missing
Right.
and no one can answer the simple question, do we think we're going to grow our accounts or not?
Right. Yeah.
That's
much
just a
less,
personal trigger.
Much less do we have to sell more to make up, as noting
Exactly.
churn. What do you even know your churn? Do you know what churn is costing you? How much is your cost of acquisition? How long does it take to get that back? And how much longer before they churn? And how much profitability is lost because you're not paying attention?
Yeah. Well, that mindset, turns into people that have successful exits and great agencies now. New Breed's doing awesome.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. Well, look, I enjoy our conversation. One more time on the app or the suite of apps. Where do people go?
Yeah.
To agencies,
thank you, Max.
maybe. Where do they go?
Brandgen.io. We have webinars there. Fill out a form. But also in the HubSpot app marketplace, brandgen.io. And you can see our reviews, and I obsess about that number night and day. Our number one goal is, how many stars, right? So, and we're right there. And, 100 so installs within HubSpot. We're early stage. We have a lot of really exciting features coming up. Super stoked about. Webinars constantly with fellow account-based RevOps providers. The one I'm excited about most is Netline. That'll be coming up in a few weeks. Hit our website. We'll get you an email out, or connect with me, Galen Dow on LinkedIn. You won't find many of us.
I've always been a fan of 4 stars.
4.9 right now, Max.
I do a lot of. I like good food, and when I'm looking at a restaurant, I don't really trust the 5-star people.
That's interesting. Really, you think they're planted reviews? Like
planted reviews, or this person's just an idiot, and because you got people that are going to leave 5 stars even if they have a bad experience. So
sure, right.
What I'm looking for is real world situations where it's like, look, if you love food, boom, this is your spot. They had the most amazing drinks. My waiter, kind of a dick.
Yeah.
I'd be like, great, that's my spot. I can deal with that. But that they're not just sitting out there leaving bullshit reviews. Anyway, I was always like a B+ student, and I guess I've become okay with that later in life.
This is true.
Maybe a solid B. A B+ was on a good day. Solid B student.
Yeah.
Well, Galen Dow.
Yes, sir.
Cheers to you. Thanks for letting me kick back and put my leg up in the air.
I'm sorry to hear about that. Hopefully it's better soon, man.
That's sure. Yeah, 6 to 8 weeks on a good day. So something like that. I'm getting older now, so I don't heal like I did 10 years ago.
You don't heal like you do. There's truth in that. Yeah. Absolutely, brother. So
cheers. See you out there. And
Max, have a great holiday. And Yes, sir. Great holiday. Very nice to share time with you. Always valuable. And I'm sure we'll connect again soon.
Until the
And
next
thank you,
time.
everybody who paid attention for this far.
Yeah.
We're out here to help you.